Welcome to the Women Without Limits podcast. I'm your host, Shamaya Marie. Make sure you have a seat and get ready for all the tea. Okay, you guys, welcome to episode 2. Before we get started, I just want to say go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Shemiah. That's Shemiiah. And you can go ahead and follow me on YouTube or subscribe to me on YouTube at Shamaya Marie. And if you're watching it on YouTube, welcome back. And if you are listening, the audio version, welcome back again. So, before we get started, I want to say thank you guys for tuning into the first episode. I'm very grateful, especially for this to be my very first podcast and to be able to, voice my opinion and to offer this safe space for you and I both. So, if you guys have read the title, we're going to be talking about, you know, being in your 20s with no friends or losing friends in your 20s, all of those, because you guys know I'm 24 years old, and yesterday I was thinking, and I was outside real late, and I was just looking at the city, and I was just thinking, like, I don't got no friends. Not that I don't have any friends, because all of my friends, hey, it's not that I don't have any friends, but it's just that I don't have any here with me in Japan, so it kind of feels a little lonely. And I know, being in your 20s, I just want to say it's normal to either lose friends or to just not have any more friends in your 20s. For me, I have friends because I'm stationed in Japan, so I do have friends in the States, but here in Japan, I don't really have any. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, I did have one friend, but then she left. So it's a little hard for me. I wouldn't say hard for me, but it's getting challenging, especially because my boyfriend, we've been together for about a year, and he's also stationed here in Japan, but he just went on deployment. So usually my loneliness is masked because I'm with him, but now that he's gone, it's having me realize, like, okay, I'm really alone here. And I just wanted to let everyone else know, and all the listeners, that it's okay to lose your friends in your 20s. I mean, this is not something that I'm just now realizing. I've realized this for a while now because, even back home, I only have two best friends. Two best friends. And those are the only friends that I actually consider like family to me. So coming here, really not crazy. Okay, well, let's backtrack a little bit. I do have two best friends from home. However, being in the military, I've met friends along the way that I really consider friends. Now, my best friends, whew, baby, I love y'all. And, one thing the military has taught me is that you're going to meet some amazing people, and then you're probably never going to see them again unless you make it happen, unless that friendship was that valuable to you that you make it happen that you see them again. But the military rips your best friends away, baby, and it sucks. It really sucks. But here, it's not like I'm being ripped away from anything because, honey, I don't have anybody to rip me away from. But what I have learned is that although I don't have any friends, you know, but there's opportunity there. And with not having friends, the opportunity to learn things about yourself that you have not learned, it's important, and it's something you should really value, because some of the times people have friends and they do what their friends like to do. They don't put themselves first, and they don't really see, like, oh, this is me. This is what I value. This is what I like. Sometimes you and your friends would just go bowling and you enjoy it because your friends are there, or you guys go go-karting, you enjoy it because your friends are there, but you'd rather be out painting, you'd rather be out in the wilderness fishing. And that's where I find myself a lot of the times. Well, back in the day, I would find myself a lot of the times because I would have friends for a season. And, I also was that friend for a season. So there's nothing wrong with having friends for a season because, you know, at that time, that's what you needed. At that time, that's someone got placed in your life for a reason. And that's a beautiful thing. And plus, it also opens up your mind to know what you do and what you don't want in a friend and within yourself. You know, you don't want to just be that friend that's there for whenever, hey, let's go smoke. Hey, let's go to the club. Hey, you also might not want to be that friend. And that's where I found myself, because it was like, wow, some of these friends I'm only with because of the fast life, or because of because you're giving something to me, so that's why we're friends, when that's pretty selfish. And you have to remember that a friendship is a two-way street. You have to be able to give something and get something from a friendship, even if it's like a mental thing, even if they're giving you a chance to be vulnerable, even if they're giving you a sense of safety. That's something that you want in a friend. And as we're young, we don't know that that's what we need. We know we just want somebody to hang out with, be popular with in school, and just have fun. But we're older now. We're in our 20s, babes. We need friends that are going to be on the same shit that we're on. Excuse my language. We want friends that are going to be on that boss up stuff that we're on. We want friends that are leveling up, doing what they doing. You want to surround yourself with friends that are doing what you want to do. Like that saying, surround yourself with people who are like-minded. Surround yourself with people who have the same goals as you, because that's what you need. Like, I'm in my mid-20s. That's 24. Yeah. I'm in my mid-20s. So, and I'm telling you right now, some of the friends that I had when I was 20, or some of the friends that I had when I was 18, are not in the same mindset, or they're not on the same level in life that I'm on. They might still be living that fast life. Ooh, excuse me. They might still be living that fast life 5 years later. And that's okay. And that's why you have to acknowledge what you do and what you don't want in a friend. And sometimes that could lead you to having none. And it sucks. Right now, the difference for me and my friends is distance. Right now, we're not near each other. So I think I'm going through a space where not only do I have to lean on myself, I have to lean on God a little more. I have to focus on God a little more. Sometimes we get caught up in our friends and we forget about God sometimes. Sometimes we forget that that God is a selfish God, and he wants us all to his help, and sometimes we can get a little blinded by our friends, and that's okay, because it's all a part of the journey. Like, that's something you're going to hear on this podcast a lot, is it's a part of the journey. And I really take pride in that. And I really believe that everything happens for a reason. So sometimes when we're blinded to God, it gives us a feeling of loneliness, or a feeling of satisfaction that only lasts for a limited amount of time, because that's God pulling you closer to him. You guys have to remember, loneliness is also an opportunity to get closer with God. You have to remember where your values are and your goals, and remember why, remember who. Remember who is always going to be there for you, and that's the Lord. And that's how I feel. Friends come and go, but God, he stays. Remember that. You might feel lonely now, but you have to remember, maybe this is your opportunity to grow your faith. Maybe this is your opportunity to build your relationship with God. Have you ever thought about that? Sometimes it's okay. And that's what I'm learning. Like, being here in Japan, in a beautiful country. A beautiful country, y'all. And to not have any friends to enjoy it with, that's okay. Maybe God is telling me, like, lock in with yourself. Lock in with him a little more. Read your Bible a little more. Go outside and pray. Go outside and get a breath of fresh air. Do the things that you want to do. Sometimes that's just what God is telling you, and you have to be able to hear that. Now, what I will say is, it also gives you an opportunity to learn. Because myself, and I have been a problem in a few of my friendships. I have been easily I have been the problem in a lot of my friendships because I don't know. I know sometimes I know what I want in a friend. However, how do I say this? Because I don't want to mess it up. Sometimes I know what I want in a friendship. However, I don't know how to show up for that friend in the way that I want them to show up for me. Sometimes I can't. Not even sometimes. In the past, I haven't been able to show up for friends how I want them to show up for me. Sometimes my loyalty could be in question, and that's another great thing about this time with no friends. You can reflect on some friendships because at some points you be like, dang, I really miss this person. What happened to us? What went wrong? Why are we no longer friends? How do we go from spending the night every other day, doing each other nails, braiding each other's hair, going out, living life, to not speaking again? And sometimes you have to accept responsibility in these situations too. Sometimes you got to hold yourself accountable in your friendships. Hold yourself accountable in friendships because, you know, sometimes I know for me, it's like, honey, I was never the problem in that friendship, but whole time it's 50-50. It's the same thing with relationships when they're saying, two people, or like, let me say marriages. They always say two people end a marriage. Yeah, two people end a friendship as well. It's just that simple. You have to be able to take accountability. And I have been doing that a lot recently. I have been realizing that I've been wrong in a few friendships. I've been very selfish in a few friendships. I've been very closed-minded in a few friendships. I haven't been able to see their point of view in some things, and that's a little bit of my stubbornness coming out, which I am aware of. I hold myself accountable. You have to hold yourself accountable because once it's time to put yourself out there and make friends, you don't want to ruin a friendship that could be great for you. That could be your bestie. That could be your good sis. And you don't want to ruin that relationship. You know? You have to learn from the relationships that are lost, and you have to be able to accept I'm sorry. You have to be able to just simply forgive yourself for what you did in those relationships, in those friendships, which I have done. I have done that. And now I feel like I'm even better going into the next friendship. And some things I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I recently lost a friendship about a month ago. And it was partly some of my fault. And I'm still learning. The journey doesn't stop here. But you have to be able to learn from these things and move on. You can't harbor on these feelings. Is it harbor or harbor? Harbor. I don't know. You can't harp on these feelings, and you have to be able to move on. Um, yeah. Let's see. I also wanted to talk about back to your friendships. Are some friends or some people are in your life for a season? Sometimes God places people in your life for a season. Not everybody, not your friends from high school are all going to be your friends in your 30s. That's just not what it is. You have to be able to understand sometimes people are not on the same wavelength, and you have to be okay with that. You can't just be like, oh, sorry, babes, I bossed up, got a Benz, and you're still in that Honda. We can't be friends anymore. No, because sit your ass down. Relax. We get it. We get it. You got a little more money in your pockets. No, girl, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is sometimes it's okay to know that you guys are on two different waves of life. And it's just a simple, hey, sis, I really valued our friendship. And this friendship, however, doesn't serve me anymore. And that's okay. I wish you the best of luck within your life. Let's move on. Sometimes you have to be graceful about it. Simple. And another thing is, you can't simply be holding on to friendships because you feel like you're afraid of the loneliness. Let people go. It's okay to let people go. It's okay to get in that point, get into that point of life where you're learning, you're moving on. Accept life. Life is a roller coaster. And these are things that you have to acknowledge. These are things that you have to go through. And if you don't go through them, you're prolonging the inevitable. Okay? You keep holding on to this friendship, you keep holding on to this, your friend, your good sis, your bestie, that's still $40 from you every week. But you like, oh, it's okay. I'm gonna turn a cheek. I'm gonna turn a blind eye. No, no, because a year down the line, she done stole 20,000 from you. You homeless and ain't got nowhere to go. When you could have cut her off last month, and you could still be living in that house. It's like, it's like no, but y'all get it, right? Like seriously, you can't keep holding on to someone that's hurting you. And a lot of friendships are like that, you know? And a lot of people who say friends with people are doing it for their own good, for their own gain. Like, ooh, I don't really like how she living, but I'm gonna stay friends with her because she take me out to Roots Crest every week. Or, ooh, I don't really like her attitude, but she paid for me every time we go out. She give me shots every time we go out. That's what you need to remember. Some friends have secret animosity. Red flag, red flag, red flag. And sometimes it's hard for us to see that because we're blinded, because we don't want to be alone. That's okay. No one wants to be alone, but everybody goes through it. And it's just a sense of, what are you going to sacrifice to go through something that's going to happen anyways? Something that's going to happen anyways. What are you going to put up with? Stop prolonging it. Let it happen, babes. So I'll say all this to say, if you're in your 20s right now feeling a little lonely, feeling a little friendless, that's okay. We all go through it. We all go through it. I looked up yesterday while I was thinking about this. I was looking up like no friends in my 20s. Do you know how much content came up, babes? You know how many people are searching for the exact same thing we're thinking, but we're too scared to admit? A lot of females will take this to the grave, but it is something that bothers us, and we just have to acknowledge it, and it's okay. Why y'all think I started this podcast? Because I ain't got shit else to do. So, it's like, no. But for real though, you got to remember, you have to fall in love with what you like. I hope my hair doesn't look a mess because, honey, yeah. You have to learn what you like. You have to fall in love with who you are. Learn yourself. What do you like to do? Have you thought about that? Do you have any hobbies other than going to the club? Do you have anything that you enjoy doing? Girl, you like the wilderness, you like the environment, but you ain't stepped foot in a park in 20 years. Okay, I'm overdoing it. 5 years. Like what? But whenever your friends say let's get dressed, we going to big ATL, get dressed. But whenever your friends say get ready, we going to Club 99, you ready? Spending your money on things that don't serve you. Stop. Go spend your money on things that serve you. Go buy a fishing pole. Go buy some paint and some brushes, girl. Go buy a canvas. Do some things that you like to do. And if you, by all means, if you like to go to the club, go to the club. Don't let me deter you. But that's just an example. Okay? Even if you are always hanging around friends that like to paint and you want to go get turned. Same thing. Go do what serves you. Go do what heals you. Go do what fuels your mind, your body, your spirit. Simple. So, yeah, that's just a little bit that I wanted to talk about today because it was really weighing heavy on my spirit and I didn't want to continue to think about this. Not in a negative way. I wanted to let it out that it's okay, and it sucks. You'll get through it. We all will get through it. You're going to have those solid people that are solid and you're going to live a wonderful life. Remember that. I wish y'all nothing but the best. Thank you guys for tuning in to this podcast. I'm trying to drop 2 times a month. Hopefully it could get up there a little more, but for right now, we're starting with 2. And make sure you subscribe to this video. If you're watching the audio, make sure you like it. Or I don't know what they got on audios. Listen, I'm still fairly new to this. But if you're listening to the audio, make sure you save me, add me to your playlist, whatever it is. Because, girl, we're going to be diving into this all the time. Not this subject, but like life. We're diving into life. Simple. Because this is something that we all go through. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay? Simple. Now, I love you guys. Make sure you tune in for more. It's me, the Shamaya Marie. See you guys next time.